Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is for YouTube. This is Pastor Dowell. Ever since I have made a few videos in reference to speaking about, personal defense pistols, I've had quite a few people send me some correspondence asking my personal opinion. And I think that my extensive military background, and especially the amount of training and the instruction that I've given on these particular weapons, or weapons just in general, that pretty much qualifies me to at least give my opinion. So I may not be what many people call, I don't know what they call an expert, but I believe myself a pretty reliable expert there. But at least what I can do is try to give you my opinion, and the majority of my questions are coming from the females, not so much as the males. Now, I'm going to talk to you about some polymer pistols, as opposed to the regular old heavy iron pistols. Now, I'm an old school vet and stuff, and so therefore, my personal carry weapon of choice is a Kimber 45. Now, I don't take my custom match out there because it costs too much. In case you want to get out there and meet somebody on that crazy and try to take your gun trade, but I personally carry this thing. Now, I would tell you right now that this particular Kimber right here, 45, is a 4-inch barrel, but it's heavy. It's a whole lot heavier than the particular weapons that I have right here. I got two of them I'm going to talk about today, which just happen to be the Glock 19. The Glock 19. Now, side by side, you can pretty much see, and let me hold it up here for you. You can pretty much see that they're pretty much close to the same size. But when it comes to weight, this is considerably heavier than the polymer pistol right here. Now, no doubt you can probably get, longevity. You could probably get more out of this one than you ever would out of the Glock 19 polymer pistol. The polymer means that, the top part of the slide is made out of steel, metal, and then, of course, the bottom part has got plastic. It's got like a polymer plastic to it. It feels like plastic. Also, along with the magazines, you get with the 45, you get a steel, and I'm just using the steel, metal, and then, of course, you have a polymer magazine with the Glocks. Okay. But in this particular round right here, this particular weapon right here, this Kimber 45, you don't get nowhere near as the amount of rounds. For instance, here's the magazine right here, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 rounds that will be able to hold this and run in the chamber. So you actually have 8. Okay, over here in the Glock, and this is the Glock 19 3rd generation. All right, you have 15 rounds in the magazine and 1 in the chamber. So you begin to start to see for personal defense which one that you would pretty much want to have. Now, again, I'm used to this particular platform. I'm having a range day this weekend, and I said I was going to come back here and actually do a review and let you know what my thoughts were as far as firing the actual Glock 19. This is Generation 3. Glock 19 Generation 4. And I'm going to give you what I call my personal expert opinion on what I think, and I'm going to make sure that I consider the different sources out there that are listening to me, so I can try to reach a spectrum of people to give my honest evaluation of these particular firearms right here. Now, again, this is, what I carry now. Is not to say that it's always going to be that way. This is considerably heavier. It's a very heavy weapon. Weighs considerably more than this Glock 19, which is a polymer type of pistol. But, at the same time, you think about the comparison between the two when you have this 45 ACP or 1911, and you have this this Glock right here, Generation 3, and you consider that this has 16 rounds, 8 rounds possibility right here, as opposed to 16. This seems like that it will be the advantage as far as carrying. Plus, it doesn't cost as much as this one is. This one costs considerably more than this one is. This is kind of like on the range of a $500 pistol, somewhere along that range, $500 to $600. This is in between, I guess, $800 and $1,100. So it's considerably more. Now, this particular one right here, I actually have a laser on here, on this one right here, because, and I'll tell you the reason why for lasers. You'll get on the internet here and you'll see a lot of people who are by these generations, the 3rd generation Glock right here, and they would immediately go out and drop $150 on the Trigiton HD night sights, and that's for the actual sights that you see. When you're actually looking down the barrel. See, right there, the sights. But these are the ones that come standard on this Glock. I can't personally justify dropping $150 on some basically they're just sights and stuff when you can actually put another $150, take your time, save your money, put another $150 and actually invest into a quality laser, And I'll tell you the reason why for laser. See, once you get the laser on the pistol zeroed in and right where you want it, it's pretty much point and shoot. It's pretty much point and shoot. If you're in a hostile environment, if you feel like you're in threat for your life and you need speed, accuracy, reliability where you can get some hits, you don't have to do too much thinking. Pretty much where you point that gun, wherever that laser is pretty much where that bullet is going. More than anything, you have to make sure you maintain your disciplines and trigger pull and not squeezing the gun too tightly. You have to remember everything that has been taught to you. So, you know, hey, you cannot beat the laser hands down. The majority, all the veterans out there would tell you that it's impossible to beat the laser. It's impossible. So you will be faster with the laser because you don't have to worry about trying to line up the sights and stuff. Because remember, if you're ever engaged in personal defense and you have to actually fire around and stuff, we are civilians in their eyes and minds. So therefore, they think that we're incompetent, no matter the experience or background, the extensive background that many of us may have. But you're responsible for every range that goes down. And you have to understand that in this society right here, we're not going to get the same type of pass nor the same type of mercy that those who work for the government, i.e. cops, police, popo, whatever you want to call them. We're not going to get that same kind of mercy as they are. So with that knowledge in mind, since you're responsible for every round, I mean, a cop, we see it all the time in New York, they can shoot and hit people all over the place and nothing ever happens to them. But if you do that, you better be sure you're getting ready to be sent up for a long, long time, a very, very long time. No matter if you were personally defending yourself from an assailant or an enemy. So you need to keep that in mind and stuff. So that's the reason why, Pastor Dowell, another reason why I choose to go with the laser, because I want to make sure that I get hits, and that since I know that I'm responsible for every round that goes down, I want to make sure that I get hits and I'm not hitting anybody else or other people. Now, a good laser is going to cost you anywhere from $299 to $399. But I think that it's personally worth it. I really, truly do. Speed, accuracy, and of course, hey, I got like a 5-year continue on life with this laser right here. And I think it's a very, very good investment. So that's my personal opinion on that. I want to talk here just for a moment about the differences between the two Glocks right here. This one right here, we have the Glock Generation 3, and then we have the Glock 19 Generation 4. Glock Generation 3, Generation 4. Now, just from looking, at sight, you can see that there's really, truly, they're both the same weapon. And right now, the reason why things are looking a little bit different right here is because on this particular Glock Generation 4, I put the dovetail, or some people call it beaver tail. I put the dovetail back strapping on because my hand is a little bit bigger and it feels a little bit more comfortable to me, but they're pretty much almost on the same platform. There are differences in between these two right here. For instance, the safeties. You can see the safeties. See over here on this Generation 3, you can see that the safety is considerably smaller than the actual safety over here on the Generation 4. So you see where my thumb is right here? That's the Generation 4. So you can see the difference in that. Of course, now both of them still have, is visible. They're very visible that you can see it if your weapon is loaded and not if there are any rounds in there, which that would be up here on both of them. All right. And of course, the strapping, the strapping and stuff is a little bit different. All right, follow me. See the strapping on the Generation 4, you have considerably more. Suppose you have a smoother platform on the Generation 3. All right. You don't, there's no ambidextrous magazine drops on this thing whatsoever at all. Both of them are pretty easy to field strip. It's the same technique with both of them. The breakdown, the field stripping is the same. They both have slide locks. But I know, the one thing about pistols, carry pistols, personal defense pistols, is it sure is nice when you can actually look into this particular thing right here. I'm going to point along this slide right here. When you can look in this particular window right here and see that you have a loaded chamber indicator. And I think that's a wonderful thing to have. Okay, but whenever you're out purchasing a weapon for personal defense, you don't need to go out there and buy the biggest gun you want. You know, men, they want 45 ACPs. 45 is because they, stay alive with 45. 45 man stop. You can't go wrong with a 45. All these different slogans and stuff, because when you start to look at the difference in bullets, I mean, after all, here is the 45 ACP bullet, and here is an actual 9mm bullet. There's considerable difference. You see it? See the 45 right here and the 9mm. That's considerable right here. You don't want to get hit by either one of them. I promise you that. But that 45 is definitely going to do considerably more damage than the 9mm. But like I said, you don't want to get hit by any of them. You have more rounds, and that's what I like about the Glocks. It makes no difference to me if it's a Generation 4 or Generation 3. I'm going to give you my personal opinion as far as the smoothness, the reliability, the ease of use. And the ease of maintenance. I think it should pretty much be the same on both of them, but I will come back and give you my review on them. Now, as far as personal carry go, I actually am leaning towards the Glock. Now, the one thing I've got to tell you, that the Glocks also come with the light slide on here, okay? But I'm actually leaning towards the Glocks there a little bit, simply because, number one, I'm very impressed with the amount of rounds that you can get with these Glocks right here. Very much more so. I'm impressed with it. Also with the Generation 4, if you go out and buy a brand new Generation 4, you got 4 different types of strappings or the back pieces that you can use for comfort and ease of use if you choose to strap it on here. I just stuck this on here. I'm not probably going to keep it on there. But you also get 3 magazines with the Generation 4, whereas with the Generation 3, you only get 2 magazines. So you get considerably more in the box when you actually buy the Glock Generation 4 as opposed to the Generation 3. I need to spend more time with it. I hadn't figured it out yet to see if the magazines are actually interchangeable, because here is a Generation 3 magazine right here, and here's a Generation 4 magazine. You can see that both of them have tick marks, but the Generation 4 has 2 of them on the side, and Generation 3 has 1. So I don't know if they're interchangeable yet, but I will get back to you when I do my review. So far as personal defense, I'll actually would have to actually, even though I've never fired this weapon just yet, this particular weapon, I have fired Glocks before, I would have to actually still default to this one right here, simply because of the amount of rounds. I'm impressed with that. This is considerably heavier, so I would not recommend this for the females at all, since you are the ones that asked me. The polymer type pistols are a whole lot lighter, and I think that you'll be able to have a whole lot more easy use, especially with the breakdown. You have to really truly know what you're doing to break down one of these right here. I mean, really truly know what you're doing, because it's not that easy. But whereas with here, you only have like 4 or 5 moving parts that you have to actually break down, and you can actually break it down a whole lot faster than this one. I'm talking about you're looking at bare minimum 2 to 3 minutes to break this thing down, as opposed to seconds with this particular pistol platform right here. So I hope that some way, somehow, that I've been able to help you as far as my review. And I would recommend for you women, if you like semi-automatic weapons, a 380. But if you want to go a little bit bigger, I don't think that you can go wrong whatsoever at all with a Glock 19, whether it be a Generation 3 or Generation 4. I tried to let you see exactly what the difference is, and as far as the bells and whistles go between the two. But it seems like people now are actually opting in for the Generation 4 as opposed to the Generation 3. But hey, I don't think you can go wrong with either one of these Glocks whatsoever at all. And that's my personal review at this particular time. And I hope that I've actually said something to actually help you. So my recommendation, ladies, is if you want a bigger caliber, you'll be perfectly fine with this Glock 19. As a matter of fact, it won't weigh your purse down and everything, even with a loaded magazine. Not nowhere near it. But again, no weapon whatsoever at all is any good to you if you don't get out there and practice and you don't shoot. You can fire all the rounds in the world, but if you don't get confirmed hits, then it's just a waste of time. And that's just all there is to it. And that's the truth. And that's the truth straight away. I want y'all to have a good weekend and stuff, and hopefully see you back in here pretty soon and give you my review of the Generation 4 and the Generation 3 Glock 19.